You are Happy New Year. Hello, family. Everyone on LinkedIn, we are in two places. So I'm looking over here to make sure that you hear something on LinkedIn. I'm looking over here. Can you hear me and see me? And if my team can, hey, everyone, Happy New Year. Thank you for showing up. I have water, but there is no judgment if you have a bottle that is filled with bubbly or whatever it is next to you. It's 7 o'clock at night in the East Coast. Thank you. I have great light, Deanna. I have lights everywhere. I got these lights that are in my office, and my son came in. He was like, "You know that's going to age you fast, right?" What? No. I have them anyway. Anyway, thank you all for showing up. Caroline and Mercy, if you guys can watch the waiting room, and actually, is there a way that we can turn it off? I think there's a way if you go to participants that we can turn the waiting room off. I just don't know how. If you guys can figure that out, I'd appreciate it. Hello. Thank you all for joining. I'm going to get started. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Giselle. Hey, Gigi. I saw Gigi in Tampa. Happy New Year. All right, so let's get started. We're going to talk about some AI, but we're more importantly going to talk about how you can leverage it and how you can use the skills that you have now, which are more important than technology and technical skills. So I just want to open by saying that you belong here. There's a lot of noise, there's a lot of things going around when it comes to pick a thing right now. It's just a lot going on. And it doesn't matter where you are on your journey. It doesn't matter how far you've come if you haven't even scratched the surface. But what I do want you to know is that we can no longer sit back and wait. I think last year was a year that we had some grace. People were still trying to figure it out. This is a year that we will be left behind, and so many things will possibly advance that it will be hard for us to get into the rooms that decisions are being made, that people are shaping how AI is being used. And if we are not in those rooms and our voices are not heard, then we will have no say. So I'm not saying that to say doomsday. All I'm saying that is I'm glad you're here and I want to make this as impactful as possible. You have a place in the chat that you can drop any questions that you have. I will try to pay attention to it. Hello from Ohio. I guess I should ask you where you are. I'm in Atlanta and it was beautiful today. And I haven't been outside that much. So I went outside to eat and I got some sun. And I'm so grateful that you are here. So you can drop Dallas, Texas. Hi from Denver. Um, so thank you for being here. And listen, there's a lot of noise when people talk about, hey, Philly. I know it's cold in Philly. Let me get my phone. Um, um, I know it's cold in Philly. Michigan. Oh, hey, Nilda. So I what I want to also make sure, Chicago was really nice last winter. LA, I love LA. I just, in my mind, I want to be in California. Um, so you'll hear a lot of noise about AI is not going to replace you, and nobody, AI won't replace you, but somebody that knows AI will replace you. And those things are true. The good news is that there are supposed to be 150 million jobs that will be created because of AI. There are estimated that there'll be 80 million jobs that will be cut because of AI. All of those things are estimates. They're all guesses. We have never navigated this before. So we don't really know. The people that are being brought in to shape strategy and do all these things, they're guessing too. They're just more confident when they talk to certain people. The only difference between them and maybe where you are or where I am is they put in more time and they walk the talk. They walk the walk or talk the talk. They're guessing, they're experimenting. There are some cases where there's ROI, where there's use cases, but we can't say that what happened with that company or what happened in that case is going to happen with us. We're guessing, we're learning, we're experimenting, which means what do they have to compare you to? Nothing. I wish somebody would have told me that when I was a parent and said, you know what? They don't know what to compare you to because they're the only mother they have is you. Everyone that starts to learn AI now, The goal is that you just start to get confident. I don't want you to sit here and be like, oh, that sounds interesting. And you go back to life, and you don't start to learn and you don't start to experiment. So, what I do want you to understand, and I believe this to be true, is that those who understand how to move around this AI world will shape the future and will decide who gets reskilled, who gets repurposed, and who has to move on. And I am so grateful that you're here. Some of you know me, some of you don't. My name is Bethany Nonami. We're probably connected on LinkedIn, and maybe we saw each other in real life. I've grown up in technology, went straight out of high school, straight into technology. I was a caregiver for my mother. She got sick in high school. By the time I graduated, she was on full-time disability. Luckily, I was a nerd, and nerds make money. So I was able to make a career and learn as much as I could. And people were like, oh, Bethany's so ambitious. No, Bethany's mother is on disability and Medicare, which is terrible. And I have to work. So I was lucky that I landed in technology. Technology is my warm, fuzzy place. I won a bunch of awards. I like to speak, and I'm here to support you. The goal is that you leave a little bit more inspired, a little bit more confident, and you're ready to do the next thing. Uh-oh, it went too fast. Um, and that I want you to understand that this shift is a very rapid pace. We are going to talk about the top 10 skills that are in demand in 2026. They're very different than what were in demand in 2025. We're also going to talk about gaps that we've seen. So, in the last 2 years, I've spoken to 5,000 people. I've trained 3,000. I have 3,000 reviews, tons of organizations, spent hundreds of hours on curriculum. And these are gaps that organizations have, no matter if it's 100 people or 100,000 people. And they're not technical gaps, they're people gaps, they're skill gaps, they're skills that you and I have right now, and they just don't know what to do with AI. What happened last year where leaders were told, implement AI, like do it. And what they did was they bought tools. And for some organizations, they were like, here's the tool. How many of you drop in the chat how you've learned AI? So, how many of you have learned on your own? Let me play around with ChatGPT. Oh, I wonder if it can do this. I wonder if it can do this. What are the best practices? We have to learn to figure it out. And sometimes we're learning at night, we're learning when we can, we're dabbling. We don't know if what we're learning is the right way or the wrong way. There is no right way or wrong way right now. The goal is just to learn. There are courses, there's LinkedIn, there's YouTube, but you have to start to take action and not just watch videos and be like, oh, that's cool, that's cute. You have to start to do the work yourself. So I'm going to give, hey, Yvonne, you did learn from me. So Nurse Yvonne here is here. Yvonne Mitchell is one of the people that were in our first accelerator, and she is a nurse that heals without harm. So she has the sciencey way of taking, somebody can be on cholesterol medicine and their cholesterol isn't really lowering. She can take what is needed in the cholesterol medicine, do something with brain waves so your body get what you need and you don't get on cholesterol medicine. That is a terrible way to say it, but Ardith is here too. She's also in my certification class. So all of these people are phenomenal and brilliant in their own right, and all learning how they can incorporate AI into their genius, into what you love, into what you're good at. And what you get paid for might not be what you love and what you're good at. But here's the thing, you can do anything when it comes to AI. So we're going to talk about the gaps and what your possibilities are. Are you guys excited? Can you drop a thumbs up in the chat? Because I can literally see like 4 faces. And I'm grateful to see your 4 faces. Thank you. Okay, so PwC, Caroline and Mercy, can you drop the links to PwC? Thank you, Adina. So PwC did a skills report, and they said the job market has increased by 56%. Your income can increase by 56%. Y'all, I've never gotten a 56% raise ever. I've never even switched jobs and gotten a 56% raise. Now, this is data based on it constantly increasing. And so we dropped two links in the report. One is, or two reports in the chat. One is the global AI market, and one is the US analysis market. Now, it's not just PwC that says this. Amazon has a great report that they put out every single year about accelerating skills. That's the name of the report. They haven't issued it for 2026. And they said across every department, you can get an increase. And there are some departments that are just not really the most innovative departments: finance, risk, compliance. These are not people that are like, oh, I'm an innovator ever. You can see an increase in those roles too. So it's not just like IT is going to get an increase. Customer service is going to get an increase. Every single role has the potential to get an increase. Now, I told you, for some of you that are here, that I went straight out of work into high school. Last year, early last year, I got a call from a recruiter and they said, hey, it looks like you know AI. And I was like, I know a little bit, I dabble a little bit. And they said, okay, we have an opportunity at a media company and the base is 735, total package is 900K for a chief AI officer. I graduated high school. I don't have a college diploma or a college diploma. See what I know? I don't even know that. I don't have a college degree. So they called me based on my skill. AI is a great equalizer. It doesn't matter if you have no education, if you have six PhDs, if you walk to work, or if you are dropped off by a chauffeur. It does not matter. I have never in my lifetime seen an opportunity like this. So, whether you have your own business, whether you are in the world of work, there is an opportunity to increase your value, your demand, and your income all at the same time by incorporating AI into the skills you already have. So, Caroline, can you drop the Amazon report, please, in the chat? So here's what we saw last year. Last year, people wanted skills like AI literacy and AI fluency and innovative thinking because we didn't know. We didn't know what we needed. The only thing we knew was a thing was prompt engineering. And now, prompt engineering, I can actually ask AI how to do a prompt and get a way better prompt than I can do myself. So now prompt engineering is even one of those skills that's like, you can have it, or you can just ask AI how to do the prompt and it'll write it for you. Now they're very specific and integrated. So the top 10 skills are not just literacy, not just fluency. They're very specific. Now, there's AWS report also said the number one skill in 2025, and this came out like summertime, was generative AI plus soft skills. It was the number one skill. It said, if you neglect soft skills, just hang it up on generative AI. And the only thing that generative AI is, do you guys know? Do you want me to explain what AI is? AI is just information. Do you guys remember there's these things called libraries? And in libraries, there are these books called encyclopedias. When we had to do a book report, we had to go to the library, get an encyclopedia, and look up like bicycles. So BA to BY, and like write a report based on the encyclopedia. So ChatGPT is like the biggest brain, the biggest set of encyclopedias because it's been feeding the program since 2015. It doesn't mean it's the best. It's just the most information. And it's been trained on trying to help you answer questions, trying to give you information. Now, Google is also generative AI. Generative AI is it generates an answer. It generates a thing. AI itself is just information. That's it. So it's just a lot of information. But here's the great news. Your skills are necessary for AI to be successful. Period. There's no AI without us. So there's this thing that's called human in the loop. So you'll hear these buzzwords and it's like LLM, human in the loop. Human in the loop is basically we have to tell AI what to do. If we don't give it good instructions, it doesn't know what to do. So it gives you crappy output, it gives you crappy answers. We have to oversee what it does. So we have to tell it what to do, we have to look at what it does, and then we have to look at what it gave us. And sometimes that output, we're giving it instructions. That's an input. The messy middle is like AI is thinking, AI is thinking. The output is the answer. And the output's not always right. And if you don't have the knowledge or the skills to know good from bad, then you're going to be like, oh, bad sounds good, so it must be good. So we have to have these skills like critical thinking, like decision making, like empathy, like emotional intelligence in order for AI to be good. So the top 10 skills kind of fall in three buckets. One is literacy and judgment. It's how do you evaluate, how do you apply, not just give me an answer. Is it even good? So if you don't have a skill of critical thinking, you can't tell if it's good. It sounds great, so you're like, it must be great. Strategic decision making. How do you apply and frame a problem to drive business outcomes? That's not a technical skill. You have to know how to do that. And then even going back to human skills, how do you lead? How do you change? How do you evaluate? How do you foster creativity? None of that has to do with a tool or a prompt. None of it. They're all human skills. So if we look at the top skills, judgment, data literacy. Data literacy does not mean you go out and get a computer science degree or you become a data scientist. Data literacy is it good data? And is it biased? And guess what? We have a lot of data that's biased. Not maliciously, but most of the things that are programmed by white male. And they're doing what they do. And guess what? They don't know other perspectives. Not malicious, just what it is. So a few years ago, it was like 6 or 7 years ago, Amazon programmed bias in their hiring process. So they said, okay, we're going to use AI. What do you do when you hire? I ask these questions. What do you look for? I look for these things. 6 months fast forward, somebody's looking around. They're like, huh, sure is a lot of white men around here. They programmed bias, not intentionally. It was the process. So if you don't understand what bias looks like and what is not inclusive, then you will automate that. And not AI is not the answer all the time. So sometimes you have a process issue. Sometimes we're following processes that are 20 years old. Is this the best way to do things? No. Do we want to automate that with AI? Probably not. But if you don't understand that, then you're just going to layer automation on top of things that should be better. Strategic planning, problem framing, a creative application, communicating value. AI cannot replace your experience. It cannot replace your judgment or your intelligence, your compassion, your empathy. It doesn't have those things today. It can sound like it and it can try, but it's just learning what it learns. It's getting better. It's trying to be your friend. If you've ever like there are a couple people that have named ChatGPT and they have their own names and ChatGPT responds to them in the conversation. But if you listen to it sometimes, it sounds like a person that doesn't really understand culture trying to be hip. And you're like, would you say that? Would we say that? Probably not. But it's trying to fit. And it's trying to like take what it thinks it knows and trying to fit. But it's not right. So that's what you automate. And that's bias. And that's programmed. Unless we deprogram it. And here's what I will tell you. Real talk. I'm still on LinkedIn, so we're gonna hop off of LinkedIn in a minute. But all of you that are on the Zoom, you'll get the real soon. But there are people that are okay that are sitting in rooms making decisions because we're not speaking up. We're not raising our hand and saying, "Should we do that?" And it's not your fault. It's what we've had environments where we were not safe. We were not safe to fail. We have to prove, 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 prove. And because the number one demographic that's adopting AI right now is white male. Women are at the bottom, people of color are below women. 14% of Black professionals feel comfortable talking about AI. Talking, not making decisions, not driving strategy, not leading rooms, just having a conversation. Here's the other risk: we're using it in the shadows because we're afraid. I have lived through facsimiles, AOL dial up discs, where the dial up internet, you would turn it on and you would like go fix something to drink and then come back and the screen is like loading like this. I've lived through personal computers, laptop computers, the internet, smartphones. We've never been afraid of them. We might not use them fast, we might not adopt them early, but we've never been afraid. People are afraid of AI. So if you are a leader and you're implementing technology and you're like, we asked people if they wanted AI, everybody said yes. We gave it to them and nobody's using it because they're afraid to use it. If I use it, will I look like I can't do my job? If I use it, will I look like AI can do my job better? Well, if I don't use it, maybe it'll go away. So, and some of them are not safe to say this at work. The number one risk of AI not being adopted is us. Us, people, humans. And I wholeheartedly believe that AI can be a great equalizer. It can allow us to level the playing field, like for real, or it can widen gaps faster than we've ever seen. Opportunity gaps, equity gaps, wealth gaps, salary gaps. Pick a gap. And if we don't start to learn and we don't start to raise our hand, then we will be behind other people that may not be as smart or as deserving that we are, period. So this is not the year to still sit back and wait. We have to make action and we have to take action. Leading change, ethical oversight, workflow integration, all those things are the skills. So let's talk about the top 10 skills. AI literacy and cognitive strategy. Cognitive is how you think. You have to be able to think. That is the number one skill. And it is not for everyone. There are certain skills that I think you cannot teach. Common sense is one. Cognitive strategy might be one. So, critical thinking and output verification. If you don't have critical thinking, you don't know if this is bad. You can't differentiate. Sounding good does not mean good. But ChatGPT and Claude, these things sound amazing. Doesn't mean it's good at all. So, understanding what the output is and making sure that the output is good. Agent orchestration and agentic management. Do you guys know what agents are? Can you drop in the chat if you know what an agent is? Drop agent if you know what an agent is. If you don't worry about it. I'll just explain it real quick. Okay, so agents are doers. You can go do a thing. So ChatGPT has an agent, Google Gemini has an agent, Claude has an agent. They all have agents. Agents can do a thing. So ChatGPT, I say, read the news and let me know if there's anything cool that happens with AI. I would love to sit and read the news for hours a day. I don't have time. You read it and you summarize it and you give it to me Sunday at 8 p.m. That's an agent. I can do a thing. I have a spreadsheet. I want you to sort the columns high to low. I want you to put the top three in a slide. I want you to send the slide to my team. Step one, step two, step three. I can do. I can follow instructions. I can do a thing. Agentic are thinkers, solvers. They do, but they can think, they can solve, they can fix. So if I put this in a frame of food, which I love, then An agent, I say, I need to make dinner. An agent was like, I can cut onions. I can cut onions. I can do that. A Gentech, I said, I need to fix dinner. Okay, great. It looks like you had a lot of chicken this week. So how about fish? Let me look in the fridge. It looks like there's nothing green. So let me go to the store and get some broccoli. And while we're there, I'm going to get some fresh fish because the fish that's in the fridge is spoiled. So let me cook it and let me text you when it's on the plate. Agents can think, can optimize, can solve. So if I gave an agentic the same task that I gave the agent, and I said, I need you to do the spreadsheet. Well, at Gentech, the agent does the spreadsheet. Here's your spreadsheet, sent the email, top three every week, blah, blah, blah. I do the thing. A Gentech is like, hey, I did the spreadsheet that you wanted me to do, but it looks like this company that's normally in the top three dropped to number six. So I did a research and it looks like that they got hit with tariffs. And when they got hit with tariffs, they left half their sales force. So do you need to call them? Because they've been number one for 32 weeks and now they're number six. So it's thinking. Neither of them can be unchecked. You can't set it and forget it and be like, I'm good. AI's got it. You always have to be in the loop, always human in the loop. So when you design things, when you think of AI, is it a fit? Is it not a fit? You are always a part of that equation, always. Workflow redesign and process engineering. This is change management and project management. This is, do we need to redesign our process? Do we need to fix our workflow? All AI is going to do is going to automate whatever you're doing, even if it's broken. So that is just a skill that many of us have because we're in work. For my people that love risk and ethics and governance, my legal people, my compliance people, you're needed too. That's a top skill. Human-centric leadership and emotional intelligence. This is a list of AI skills. This is not a jobs list. This is an AI skills list. Human-centric leadership and emotional intelligence. Data fluency and strategy. Data fluency is it good? Is it biased? Is it clean? Can we use it? If we automate it, and this is what we decide to use customer service data on, is it going to be good? Wow. So people are dropping statistics. Look at y'all. I'm so impressed. Um, Continuous learning and active adaptability. How many of you have learned something and 3 weeks later, those skills are like you learned a better way to do it? You will continuously learn when it comes to AI. And active adaptability just basically means you can move those skills wherever you need to move them. So what's important is not that you become a master of ChatGPT, but if ChatGPT is not working one day and you need it to get something done, then you better be able to move those skills to another large language model or another system. So I can do one thing in ChatGPT and sometimes it's just not cooperating. There's so many people on it. There's so many changes that are being done. Then Google Gemini comes out and chat like lost it. And they're like, oh my God, code red, code red. They lost 6% of their market in a month to Google Gemini because Google Gemini is fire right now. I used to love Perplexity for research. I don't even touch Perplexity now. The skill goes with you from place to place, system to system, tool to tool. The skills are what you carry no matter where you are. You're going to have your favorite. Just like some people like, I love shows on Netflix. Somebody else loves shows on Paramount. Just like we have our favorite TV, Coke and Pepsi, Cavassier or Hennessy, whatever. I don't even know if those are the same family of liquor. But whatever it is, you have your favorite. It's going to be the same with tools. Strategic problem definition. This is problem solving. How many of you had on resumes and jobs that they're like problem solver? Like we all had hits the ground running. We all had these resumes that said these terms that didn't really mean anything. Strategic problem definition. You have to know two things with AI. What is the problem or what is the outcome? All the messy middle, AI can help you with that. But if you are not clear on the problem you are trying to solve, then you might get different things with the answer, with the information. Or if you are not clear on where you're trying to end up, you might not get the same things. And you can have a little mix of both. You can say, these are the things I have, and I loosely kind of want this outcome, but I'm stuck. So you literally just have to be very clear on the business problem, the strategic problem. How are you defining that? And is AI going to help you solve that? Or is it a people problem? Is it a process problem? Is it an organizational problem? Is it a culture problem? This is the first technology that I've ever seen that culture affects whether or not it's successful. Because if you are in a culture that doesn't allow you to fail and doesn't allow you to experiment and be curious, this is going to be a struggle because you can't buy AI and be like, we're going to buy it and people are going to get 2 hours back a day. Maybe, maybe not. You might get 0 hours back a day, especially if people are afraid to use it because you haven't even told them what you're doing with it. You're just, it's on, go use it. Should I though? So, and cybersecurity and AI defense, I am not your person on that. Sounds really technical because it is really technical. But these are the skills. But if you look at this list, drop in the chat if you have any of these things. If these are things that you know how to do, you don't have to be an expert in it. But if you know how to do any of these things, drop it in the chat because I'm pretty sure that the brilliant people on this webinar know how to do some of these things. And you don't have to be a pro because I am telling you, I have been in rooms with people that have been introduced as like their resident AI expert that are not impressive. The only thing they did is raise their hand and be like, I think I can do that. So my challenge to you is if you are an environment, how many of you are in work versus the business? Can you guys drop in the chat? Are you in the world of work? Or are you in business? Work, business, business both. Okay. So if you are in the world of work and you are in a room that they're having conversations about AI and somebody is answering questions and you know it's not right, then I would challenge you to be like, is there another way? Is that the only way? I have some thoughts, but I'd like to think about it. Is that cool? Listen, you don't have to be the expert, but you just have to be confident enough in that room and then take your butt back to your seat and AI it and do research and try and figure out what the options are. The only difference between us and the people that are in the room is they have more confidence and maybe they can take more risk. And maybe they're a little bit safer than we might feel. Last year was no joke on identity and safety in the workplace, in the world in general. So if you, however you feel, 100% is valid. But I need you, even if you don't feel like you know the answer, to have enough confidence to be like, I would like to take a look at this. Otherwise, you're not going to be invited to the room. And we can't afford to not be invited to the room. We're already biased out of the data. We're not in the data. Look at some of the systems. If we look at the felon system, the arrest system, how much of that is biased? If we look at if judges had AI to base it off of past case law and they pull in race or zip codes or whatever, all bias, it's not going to work in our favor because it's not good data. The same thing happens at work. And if you have your business and you are not looking at this as a way to help your team have more time, it can free up time. Whether it's helping you write an email, whether it's helping you do something that would normally take you a long time, it's helping you free up time. Now, what you do with that time that you free up is a whole other conversation. But what I want you to understand is these are human skills. These are skills that you should not be afraid of. You should figure out what you love, what you're good at, and say, how can I weave that in? Because here's the thing, they're guessing 80 million jobs will be cut. Maybe guessing. They're estimating 150 million jobs will be created. Half of them don't have a name yet. They haven't been identified, which means it's your chance to define what you want it to be. And no matter what it is, there's not a ton of people that have your lived experience, that have your education, that have your background, and no AI on top of that. There may be a handful, but if there's a handful of anything that's in your pool, when has that ever happened? So we have an opportunity right now, just like the internet. There were no website designers before the internet. You had yellow pages and you had newspapers and you had billboards and you had radio. And if you weren't in those worlds, you didn't have a job as a website designer. There was no such thing as mobile app designers before a smartphone. What was that job? It did not exist. So think of that, except this is 1,000 times bigger than that. Probably bigger than that. My brain can't wrap my head around it. Hey, Catrice. Hey, Amanda. Message. I feel like that's deep. Okay. So what I want to do now, for those of you who are on LinkedIn, Caroline, can you drop the link to go over to Zoom? We are going to wrap up the LinkedIn webinar in a minute. And if you want to join us on Zoom, it's going to be like the after party, like the real fun people are on Zoom. So if you see these soft skills and you know you have these soft skills, so drop the link, Caroline, if you guys want to join the webinar, because I'm going to cut LinkedIn off in a minute and then everybody's going over to Zoom. There's already Zoom people. You're good. Stay here. Don't leave. Because we're going to go into breakouts. So knowing the skills is one thing. Building the skills is another thing. But most of us are not moving away from awareness to mastery. So we can make little incremental changes. To be able to save time on email is good, but it doesn't scratch the surface. We want transformational changes that changes how we do things, that changes systems, that changes industries. And starting with how you rewrite emails is a good start. It's a place to start. But we want to fill in gaps. So what's happening right now is we're here. Workforce skills are here, but we've got these requirements that they want us to be up here. Okay, well, how? They don't know how they're going to get you from down here baseline up to this level, but they're putting these job postings out there that are like, you need to do this and you need to do this and you need to do this. Colleges are just now figuring out how to even teach this. So where are you supposed to go to get the skills? There's a lot of things. I get targeted by ads constantly, and they're like, spend 10 minutes a day and learn a tool a day. You don't need to learn a tool a day. You don't need to learn tools at all. You do need to learn some tools, but you need to learn the skills so you can be tool agnostic. So you can go from hop to place to place to place, and the tool is just like what you're using today. AI is a tool. That is it. Powerful, can do a lot, can transform into a lot. Yes. Hey, Caroline, can you drop the links for Brittany for the reports? So the PwC reports and the AWS report, please. Thank you. So, in the World Economic Forum, so this is the jobs report, the global jobs report with the World Economic Forum. It comes out every January. The new one's not out yet. So we're going to drop the link to the global report that is the global World Economic Forum. And it's saying that the biggest gap right now is skills. But when you look at the skills, they're skills we have, but we're not connecting them to AI. That's it. Like that is the magic secret sauce. Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about the gaps that I'm seeing. These are gaps that are happening across all industries, all sizes. So last year, people went from like 0 to 100 with AI. There's a lot of people that were like, we're going to sit back and wait, see what happens with AI. And then they were like, implement AI, like right away. We need it right now, right now, right now. And what did people do? They bought Microsoft Copilot Enterprise. It's on. Go be awesome. They bought ChatGPT Enterprise. Okay, you can have it now. And, but there was absolutely no strategy. There was no like, let's figure out a business problem we can solve. They're like, you told me to implement AI. I don't know how to implement AI, so I'm just going to buy some stuff. Well, the risk is you just don't have a strategy. And then there's no real workflow. So how do you set guardrails? And then you have some corporations that are like, we're HIPAA, we're healthcare, we're SEC regulated. We can't do it. You can, and it's easier now. But to just not do it is not working either because you got to figure out how to implement it. So it makes sense because it has to be a part of daily work and it's a way that you do things better and more efficient. Now, the other thing is some of these kids, and I'm not being judgy because I have them in my household, they work, they're different. They work different. They don't have judgment, they don't have the experience, and they don't really care to learn it either. So they're using AI to help them answer everything, help them understand what they should do and what they shouldn't do, help them do things that you and I know in life how to do as a skill. They're relying on AI to do all of it. And then there's the confidence gap. And this is the biggest risk that we have, especially if we're in a workplace that has no psychological safety or we have trauma from past workplaces and we're like, I'm not doing that again. I got burned. I'm not looking like a fool. I cannot look like I don't know this, which is a risk to us and it hurts the organization. And what I see over and over again is they don't intend to, but they're forcing us to learn AI on our own. So we're learning it at night. We're playing around with it. And this is what happens. I'm going to do an email on ChatGPT. I'm going to do it on my phone because I can't use it at work. And I'm going to copy and paste it. I'm going to put it in drafts folder. And I'm going to go to my work email. And then I'm going to use that email. Like, this does not make sense. I don't understand what we're doing here. So it's forcing us to potentially not have the support we need to be successful. But here's the thing. We've never done this before. We've never navigated this before. And there's a lot of noise around it. There's a lot of people that are saying this is the next industrial revolution, that this is the biggest opportunity for you to generate wealth, bigger than the gold rush, bigger than the industrial revolution that was like steel. Like they're saying that this is the time that we can go from zero to whatever the number is faster because there's no barriers. Anyone can learn it. It doesn't matter if you're 8 or 88. You have to just begin to learn it. So this is what's happening when people don't support, when the organizations don't support people. They give it out to everyone and they're like, who wants AI? And everyone's like, me, I want AI, I want AI. They look at it a month later and 2% of the people have used it. And they're like, well, nobody's using it. Well, that's a risk because they've just invested money and they're going to blame AI. They're not going to blame us. They're going to be like, AI doesn't work. Take it out. Stop paying for it. It's a waste of money. But the biggest risk to us is using it in the shadows. And there's a lot of fear. Like, if we use it, are they going to look at us a certain way? Like, if I use it and she uses it, are they going to be like, okay, cool, we just need one of you because you're using it and you're using it and nobody's talking about it. So it's like this tense. Do you guys remember what the energy was with COVID? And it was like this weird, it was just thick. It was tense, weird energy. So we have all the things going on outside that are not cool. Then we have work and budgets getting cut and identities under attack and all the things, like all the things. We don't even have enough time to talk about that. And now you want me to use AI and I don't even know what your position is on it. I don't even know if we're using it to like, what are we doing? So if you don't use it and you don't learn the skills, you're doing a disservice to yourself for your future. I don't care if you've been in your career for 30 years. This is not a time that we're like just going to sit and write it out. Please and thank you. Okay, I'm not yelling. I just get really excited. So lovingly, um, and then you get inconsistent outputs. So I can ask a question at 10 o'clock this morning and ask the same question at 2 p.m. and get two totally different answers. Same system, same question. So we're getting inconsistent outputs. And we're also seeing slower productivity gains. We don't know what the productivity gain is going to be. So if we're leading an organization and we're buying AI and the sales rep is like, we can guarantee 2 hours ROI or 2 hours saved a day. No, you can't. Because what worked for them might not work for us. And what worked for their people might not work. We might get 4 hours back a day. We might be different. But it's back to remember in science, and you had to like give the teacher a hypothesis. This is what I believe will happen. The only way to know was to experiment. Some organizations don't like to experiment. They're like, we spent $1 million. We don't want to experiment. Well, you can't not experiment unless there is someone that has a magic 8 ball that's like, if we do this, looks good, appears good. We don't know. And how many organizations have ever had leaders be like, how much money do you need? It's okay if you don't know if it's going to work. Let's just try it. Let's give it a go. Especially right now where there's economic uncertainty, geopolitical things, wars, invasion. Like, no, we're not going to spend it unless leadership is like, we have to buy this. But you're in the middle. You're like, what do I do? What do I don't do? You start to learn on your own if your environment does not allow you to learn at work. And you start to get good and you start to get confident and you start to entertain conversations at work. So you start to increase your value and you figure it out behind the scenes if you have to. And then the biggest risk that the organizations have is if once you start to get good, you're going to be like, hey, I really think we should be using AI for this. Hey, have we considered using AI for that? Then they're only going to shut you down so many times where you're like, I'm out. If I can have this skill and go make 50% more somewhere else, I'm out. So now they have the risk of replacing you, the cost to replace you, the lost productivity, and they're not thinking about it from that perspective. But if you're disengaged already, because all the other things going on and however they're handling it, and now you're shut down from AI, and this is a future skill that you need to have to be marketable in the marketplace, what do? I'm out. I mean, maybe not. I don't want you to fall asleep. So I'm just being dramatic. So, um, have any of you heard of a community of practice? Have you heard that term before? Okay, so communities of practice, I have found I've done a lot of mentors and programs and group programs and coaching and all these things. And I believe that communities of practice is a great way to have a safe way to help people implement AI because you have to play. You have to get your hands dirty in the sandbox before you can build a sandcastle. Otherwise, you can't direct somebody and be like, well, you got to put enough sand and you got to put enough water where it's like hard, but not too hard. You won't know that unless you do it. This is the same thing. So I've found communities of practice have been incredibly powerful. And that's what we do when we help organizations learn AI. It's like, whatever you do outside of these walls, that's fine. In here, we ask questions and we fail and we share how we fail. Because if you can't figure out how to do something, and I've been struggling with it for a whole 2 days, and you're like, no, don't do that, do this. There's value in knowing how not to do things, but there's also value in me telling you so you can accelerate your journey. And if we're not transparent and we don't have an environment where we can be vulnerable because our leadership is like, don't look stupid because you looking stupid is going to make me look stupid and I can't look stupid and I have to figure out like I have everything all together, then this is going to be tough. It's doable, but it's tough. And if the culture won't support you being able to learn, experiment, fail, test it out, then you're going to have to figure out how you can do it on your own. Yes, I love peer-to-peer learning, and that's really what it is. And there's also value. Not all of us are outgoing, and I'm a super introvert. So I can like turn on, but after it, I'm like, I need to decompress. I need to sit somewhere, watch some TV makes me feel good about my life. And that's what I need. But there's value in you learning from other people and hearing other people ask questions. And there's like a psychological statistic of like comprehension and all these other things. So it doesn't have to be you as the example. Other people can share and you can learn in that. Um, so what I want you to understand is we've never done this before. Everyone is learning. Every single person is learning. The only difference between you and I and Catrice and Arditha and Amanda is how much time we've put in. That's it. And I'm an Aries, and I'm the person that goes to the gym and comes out and looks at my stomach like, I don't understand. I don't see a six pack. I'm not going to the gym every day. It took me a while to get these thighs. It's going to take me a while to get rid of them, but I would like to have them right away. You have to put in the reps and you have to learn, and it might take some time, but that's okay because there's no one to compare you to. There will be, and they're coming in hot. Do you guys remember when George Floyd was murdered and all these companies were like, DEI, we have to do better, we have to do better. All of a sudden, everybody's a DEI expert. Now everybody knows DEI out of the woodwork. That's what's happening with AI now. Everybody's like AI consultant, AI expert, AI. And that's fine. Um, but what I'm saying is you probably have more skills than they do, and you can layer on AI too. So you can add it to your LinkedIn profile. You can be like artificial intelligence. You can put AI in your headline, and you just have to have enough confidence that you can figure it out. We figured out harder things. This is not hard. And the fact that we have AI to help us answer questions and tell us how to do things, the barrier of learning, you don't have to know the technology to learn this technology. But the skills that are needed in the world, in organizations, in businesses are not tools. They're the skills that you already have. Okay. So can you guys drop in the chat? How's everyone doing? LinkedIn, we're about to drop y'all. So if you want to join, hey, hi LinkedIn people. If you want to join us in Zoom, we're going to keep going. Um, Caroline, you can drop the link one more time so people can see it. You want to join the Zoom, you got to drop off on LinkedIn. So bye Zoom people. Have an amazing night. Join us on Zoom. Hold on, let me make sure they're gone. I think they're gone. Okay. Does anybody have questions? I have a little bit more to share, but I want to open it up for questions if you have questions. Are you awake?
Hello, Bethany.
Hello.
How are you? This is
I'm
Katrina.
Hey Katrina.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am doing well. Listen, I am a business consultant, and I am going to do so much better in 2026. But so I do policies and procedures,
Mm,
NDAs and the likes. So I wanted to pick your brain to see. I use chat, I use Perplexity, I use Claude. But I want, and my niche is anyone who needs resumes, cover letters, policies, and procedures. But I am looking because my background is in healthcare, and I also have worked with service members. I'm trying to find out um, what would I know the chamber. What are some of your recommendations for me? Something that I would be able to make money. I'm putting in the hours and all of the things. I had a Zoom prior to you,
Yep.
and it's going on now, but I was like, I need to be in this with
I
you.
know this is a way better Zoom. You
All
can
right,
see
I take
them.
that.
Uh,
I take that.
Um, so, so a couple of things. Keep in
Yeah.
mind that if you are, what can you do that saves them time that is also low risk? So, can you offer them something that you can use an agent or you can use a custom GPT to just spit it out that doesn't take your time, but shows them how you think and the genius of what you do? So, a lot of
Hmm.
times people have to experience it's like an accountant. So how many of you have had an accountant and you didn't realize they were bad until you got a better one? You don't
Right,
look
right.
for it, you don't think it's a problem. You have a dentist, but you're like, they're okay, but you don't like make the effort to go find a better dentist. Same thing with cell phone companies, same thing with cable companies. No one likes their cable company, but nobody wants to spend half a day at the cable store. So I'm just going to keep paying $20 more a month. So how can you help them realize that they need you and they need you to help them with their things? So what is a low risk? And you use Gemini for this. So you can go into Gemini and you can say, "Hey, I'm really good at these things. What is the market value for me? And what are some low ticket offers that 100% of the people that I give it to would see value in it and would see my genius?" It's important for you to help them understand how you think differently and that they
Uh-huh.
have a gap.
Okay.
And then you can
Okay.
potentially get them into like what would be a mid-ticket thing or a retainer thing. But what
Hmm.
can you do that you can scale? It's like a lead magnet or something, but there's a payment for it. But you can
Uh-huh.
use AI to output to publish the thing, to do the output, to do all the things. And it's based on how you would do it, but it's a repeatable thing. I would ask these
Hmm.
questions and I would give them this. I would ask them these things and I would do this. You could use AI to do that, and it would be low ticket for them, which would be low risk for them.
Okay. Okay. And I have all different types of clients because I am a consultant. I do workshops. I have clients that's electrical engineers. I have
Yep.
clients who are in the food industry and so
Yep.
on and so forth. So I just kind of I want to do something that's going to really make money for me coming in 2026 because it's really I'm still scaling, so I know I have to do something to make money. And plus, the I got in on Alicia's before it went up to $5,000. I got in on it, and so I have to pay that back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why I'm thinking about like what can I do?
Yeah. I would use AI because there's many things that you're probably not thinking of that I'm not thinking of to see what's
Uh-huh.
possible and just see what's in alignment with what you would like to do.
Okay.
How did I raise my hand? Okay, let me go to Deandra and then I want to share a couple more things. I don't know how to raise my
Hi,
hand.
Bethany. How are
Hi,
you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much. It's been a minute since I've been under one of your meetings, but it's good to see you. So
You
my
too.
question is, the AI advertisement is just overwhelming. If you're doing anything on Facebook, Instagram, anything, it's
Mm.
every 5 minutes. If you're
Yeah.
over 50 and you don't know AI, you're going to be behind. So my question is, there seem to be a lot of tools.
Hmm.
So I've used Gemini, I've used Chat GPT, but what other platforms would you suggest that we get our skill sets um, practice in because I know that that cursive thing is out. I don't know what it is though.
Yeah.
It's a program that they want you to pay for in order to use. So,
Hmm. I think it depends. I think it's more important that you have transferable skills that can move from ChatGPT to Claude to Gemini to Grok that do consistent output. And
okay.
that you recognize how to get it to do what you need it to do. Um, and there are tools that you can learn, but there are also there's a lot of what we're going to see this year is beyond the tools. It's going to be in automation and agents and agentic. So, and if you have not started vibe coding, that's another thing that is a skill that is marketable.
Mhm.
So, Katrina, that could be something that you could potentially use to automate as well. Is vibe coding is basically you eliminate any technical need of somebody creating a website, somebody creating an app. If you can tell it what I would do, and it's objective, not subjective. If I need to look at it and be like, well, I would do this, except if it's this, then I would do this. Except if it's this, then you can't, then that's hard to vibe code. But there's ways that you can take systems and automate those and use different AI tools. So I don't think it's a tools question because there are always new tools that come out. But if
Mhm.
there's a specialty of what you're doing, and there's certain tools that are used in that industry or certain tools that are used to get a certain output, then those might be more valuable. But ChatGPT is always going to be a go-to just because of the breadth and the advancement of what it does. Most people like follow what they do, so just staying in that tool is safe. And
Mhm.
then Gemini is getting really good. Gemini
Mhm.
is good. Notebook is phenomenal. And Notebook was just kind of meh 3 months ago. Now
Right.
you can do slides in Notebook. You can do videos in Notebook. So there a lot of the Gemini things that are in labs. It goes to labs before it kind of comes out to the market, and you can use labs. You can play with labs, but that's like it's not really out yet. It's still being tested. And then some of the things that Gemini is getting really good at, they're incorporating into Notebook. So I don't know if they're going to move Gemini completely into Notebook, but Notebook's getting really good. And it's doing infographics and it does the audio podcasts. And now you can change the voices. So it's not the same two people. So it's really getting really good. So Notebook is another one. Um, but I think it's just, I don't think there's a tools answer for everyone. It just depends.
Okay. Well, that was good information though, because some of those I had not even heard of. So,
Notebook's the bomb right now. There's so much you can do in Notebook, and Notebook is Google. So
hmm
Notebook LM was initially for knowledge workers, where you can drop 300 sources of something. So for people that are doing their dissertation for their PhD,
hmm
if they had Notebook, they would have done that in like 2 days.
right.
But it's just, it drops a whole bunch of data, a whole bunch of sources. You can connect to your Google, you can upload files, you can upload screenshots, and then you're like, look at it and tell me what it is. And it summarizes it. Do you want to hear it in audio? Do you want me to do an infographic for it? Like, how do you want to see it? Do you want
hmm
me to do a freaking dashboard that you have dials on and you can drill down into the data? How you want to see it? It's crazy. It's just, it's phenomenal. Let me check the chat. Yes, Notebook is a Google product. Notebook is powerful, man. It's not the best user interface, like it's clunky to use. It's got different windows and things like that. It's not the best design in my opinion. Vibe coding is lovable, is a good place to start with vibe coding. Lovable, and there's a free version. And I'm logged in. Hold on. Lovable has its own learning platform. So you can always go to Lovable and it has getting started, integrations. They have a whole community of things. They have libraries of things. Lovable is basically, I tell you what I want to build And I can say, I like how pretty Stripe website is, but I want to build a website that does this. And I want when people to go here that it scrapes their website. And I want it to do this. You have to be very clear on the prompt. And you can go into ChatGPT and ramble and just turn the voice mode. I always use voice mode when I'm on ChatGPT because I got these big long nails and my screen is like this big and I can't type and it's just a mess. So I use voice mode all the time. And you can ramble. You can say, I want to build something. I don't know what it is, but I need a prompt because if you put a prompt in Lovable and you're like, I don't like that button, I don't like that color, it uses tokens, uses tokens, uses tokens. And tokens are like this mystery thing. When we used to go to the arcade, we would put quarters in the machine. If you die or you want more balls in the skee ball, you got to put another quarter in or you can't play the game. The game is over. Then you go to like Dave and Buster's and you get this mystery card for $20. And you're like, how many games is this? And they're like, well, it depends. If you're doing skee ball, it's 27 games. If you're doing like Mortal Kombat, it's 2 games. So tokens are like that. It's like the mystery Dave and Buster arcade game card. You don't know how many tokens you're going to use. For Lovable, you have a set number of tokens that are free, and then you got to pay. You don't want to practice on your free tokens. So get very clear on what you want to build in ChatGPT or Claude, do one of those, and then put that in Lovable, and then you don't use a lot of tokens. But you should definitely play around with it. It's very good. Okay, so if it's okay, I want to share a couple of things. If you, I hope you got value from this. I know it's late at night. Emergent. Elizabeth said you're using Emergent, and she already used a complex app. So you can develop mobile apps, you can develop web apps, websites, you can develop full on software that does a thing. So for those of you who are in business and you are service providers, you have this feast and famine cycle of sell a project, deliver a project, sell a project, deliver a project. Software and having a way that you can be in their world forever takes that feast and famine thing of selling a project, deliver a project, selling a project, delivering a project, always selling, always delivering. So if there's a way that you can take what's in your head and make it a subscription, give them access to you as a subscription, then that's what you can use Lovable for. That's what you can use in Gemini to figure out what that could be. You don't have to know what that is. You just have to be able to ask the question. I need to not sell projects and deliver, sell projects and deliver, sell projects and deliver. This is what I know. How can I always stay in clients? So maybe I have a 5K project, and then when I'm done with the 5K, I don't have anything else to sell. So I got to go find somebody else to sell a 5K project. Well, what if I had a 5K project and then I can constantly look at their documents and look at their contracts? AI's doing it, not me, for $249 a month. And guess what? That doesn't have to be you. But if you have 10 clients that are paying $249 a month, now you don't have to sell a 5K project. You're just short $2,500. So how can you, and that's just for your clients, but that could be a starting point for people to be 5K clients. So it's a maintenance for clients, or it's a lead magnet or a low ticket offer to get in for new clients that would be a high ticket offer, a high ticket client. Oh my gosh, look at these technical people talking about Discord. Okay, so if you are looking for support, I just want to share, I've got some people, I think I have people on here. Arditha's on here. She's in my first accelerator. Yvonne's on here. She's on my first accelerator. Ron's on here. He's in my accelerator. So I created a community. I'm a speaker. So what I love to do is I love to go on stage with people that look like this and talk about AI. And then when they start to like uncross their arms and they look for their notebook and they start to take notes, I'm like, yes, got him. So they start to look at AI and be like, hold on, what is that? Gamma? Okay, what is that? So what I do is I speak. Now, what happened last year where people would come up and be like, okay, this is super cool. What do I do? Where do I go? And I struggled finding a place that they could, and a lot of my clients are in the world of work or they're incredibly talented business owners. And I didn't know where to send them. So I do a lot of speaking with organizations and training ERGs. And ERGs are affinity groups, women, people of color, caregivers, the groups within corporations. So I turned my talks into certified talks. So they had a certificate. So they would come to an ERG session. We would talk about AI. They could give it to their leaders. They could give it to HR. They could put it on LinkedIn. And they had something to show that they're building future ready skills. So I put together a cohort to train incredible people based on hundreds of hours of curriculum and training thousands of people. And basically, what we do is in 2 to 3 hours a month, you get 5 certifications over a period of 3 months that are based on these skills that are in demand in 2026. I didn't know what these skills were. So we did this last year, but we have AI fluency, we have AI literacy, we have strategic decision making skills, we have AI strategy. These are all gaps that are in the world of work. So we have 5 certifications, but they are not, you have to be in school for 20 hours a week. You are, if you have an hour a week, that is fantastic. If you don't, the minimum I need from you is 2 to 3 hours a month for you to get certified. If you can't, we do them live on the weekends or on the evening times, and we have work sessions on the weekends. And for those of you who are in the world of work and you're trying to figure out what this means for your next season, we also have my other business that I did for years and years was sales and business development and making sure that you have access to communities and offers and LinkedIn and all those things. So I am an incredible resource and I was darn good at it. I am an incredible resource that can support you as you transition. If you transition, and AI has lowered the barrier for anybody starting any type of business. You don't have to know how to build a website and you don't have to buy a website. You can go do that on Lovable. Lovable can connect to a Stripe account or a PayPal account that can connect to your bank. So you don't even need a business bank account. You can take payment on a website that you just created from a prompt. So there is absolutely nothing from stopping you from dabbling if you wanted to do something on the side. So the goal was that we created something that was impactful, that you had a community to learn in with other people that are on the same journey that you're on, and you have a safe way to learn. Now, what we also do is we are making sure that you have, so we talk about tools, we talk about building agents, we talk about vibe coding and setting up your platform. You don't have to go to those tool sessions if you don't want to learn those tools. If you all you care about is the certifications, they are 5 internationally accredited certifications. 4 of them are live sessions and workshops that are communities of practice. So you're in breakouts, you're solving business problems, you guys are coming up with solutions, and you are pitching it to the group. The 5th certification is a capstone where you prove that you've learned fluency, you've learned literacy, you know how to make a decision, you know how to incorporate AI into your thought process of go, no go, process is broken, people are broken, whatever the thing is. So that is that 5th certification is a credentialing certification. It's a credential. It is not a class. And then for those of you who, if you decide you want to join, let me get to the price. It's affordable. I have it priced at $14.97, and this is the last time it's going to be that low. And I'm not saying that because it's urgency or scarcity. It is reality. The value of what you're going to get is way higher than what you're being charged. However, I want it to be accessible for everyone and making sure that you have everything that you need. So if lower payments need to be spread out over 6 months, that's fine. You can be certified. You also have access to the first cohort. So if you wanted to be certified over a weekend, you could do that. because the certifications take 60 to 90 minutes. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can scan the code and there's a questionnaire on there. If you want, if you're not quite sure if you're fit or if you're ready, that's fine. You can drop questions. Let me know if you have any questions. And then for those of you that sign up by the 11th, so we're kicking off January 16th. I think I'm closing it the 16th. We're going to have an onboarding session on the 15th and an onboarding session on the 17th. So one is a Thursday, one is a Saturday. And for those of you that join by the 11th, we'll have a VIP session. So basically, we're going to do hot seats and a strategy plan for you. So, what are you going to work on? What is the goal? Is the goal to find another position? Is the goal to move in your organization? Is the goal to start a business? What is your goal? And we'll do hot seats, which are basically rapid fire. You're coming in very clear on what you want or no idea on what you want. And by the end, we'll figure out what you think you may want to do and what's in alignment for you. So I didn't know what this was going to mean and how fun this was going to be. I'm going to do this one in January, February, March. I don't know if I'm going to do another one in April. I have a whole other company. I have other companies that take time, but this is what I love. This has brought purpose to my nerdiness that has never had purpose. And it's been such an honor and a journey to walk this path with the incredible people that are in the first cohort. And it's when I tell y'all, so can I just share? We had a problem. So we had a breakout session in one of the certifications where they had to solve a customer service problem. And the customer service problem that most of them solved were around like returns or automation. And one team looked up the zip code from where the phone number was calling to look for fraud, could automate if it was under $100, it would automatically do the return, but there was a safeguard in place. So if it did too many returns that were over $100 in a minute, it stopped it and had to go to a human. Like they designed human in the loop. Another one was like checking the weather. So while they were on hold, the AI was looking up the weather and be like, oh my gosh, you guys got rain today? Like they were talking about LLMs, they were retraining models. Like I was so proud of how far they had come in 2 months. So it is, I would, Caroline, can you share the link? So if it's right for you, if it's aligned for you, I'd love for you to join us. If it's not the right time, there's plenty of things. I have a newsletter that you can sign up for. I try to give you as many resources as possible. We go through questions that people have in their hey Yvonne, do you have your hand raised?
Yes, I do. I just want to add to what you're saying about, the community that you've created. I just want to speak to that because, I was the person that was in the room with my arms crossed and my face all screwed up.
She was.
That's where I started. Okay. And the nice thing about this process is that once you engage with it, the feedback that you get is very, very immediate. And so I just want to encourage you. This is a really pivotal investment time. And I want to encourage you to act on the investment. For those of you who are considering taking Bethany's course, I'm going to encourage you to do that because it will put you in a position where you can begin to lead in your community. And what this cohort has created for me, and I'm sure for others that are in the cohort, what it's created for us is a space where we can come with a question and we can put our stuff out there, and it's a safe space to figure out how to be how to navigate. I already saw somebody in the chat who was saying, "Yeah, I asked a question and I got in trouble for it." Like, they get hassled in the environment. Well, you need a safe space if you're going to grow, and I mean, people have transformed in moments and in minutes, and they've taken their lives to entirely different directions. I'm just saying, I'm launching my business. Bethany has poured into me so much that I'm like, okay, let's do this part, and then I'll do this part, and then I'll do this part, and then I'll have the whole thing, right? So I just want you to know you're going to get more than what you pay for because the value is enormous in terms of what she delivers. And all of us, we've just had to learn how to do many things. This is our time. If you do many things, you don't have to adjust yourself and not do many things. You can still do many things, but you're going to focus it in on something specific so that you can navigate this new environment that we're in. And we are much stronger together than we ever were apart. And this is an environment where we can come together and we can be strong.
Thank you.
Welcome, Bethany.
Thank you. So and even when we're learning together. So I'm still learning as they're learning. So if we go through something and they're like, how do you do that? I'm like, I don't know. We try to figure it out. We put together templates, we put together resources. So the resource library got so big that we had to catalog it somehow because we literally have this spreadsheet. And Amanda was like, I'm in that spreadsheet every day. And I was like, are you? Because I can't find anything now. So if somebody was like, hey, how do I figure out what my market value is? Then we're like, I don't know. Let's go into Gemini and say what what are you good at? Well, I'm good at this and I'm good at this and I'm good at this. Okay, let's say that and let's see what the market will pay for. Where have they invested? What have they bought? What have they spent? All of those things were assumptions as business owners we would have to make that could be deadly if we were wrong. If we were wrong and we are working in our home and we are working in our office and we don't have mentors and we don't have people to bounce ideas off of, AI is that. AI is giving us data and giving us ideas. And you still ultimately have to decide what you like and what you don't like and what you want to do. It's up to you. But this is a time for us to catch up and go forward and go ahead and lead, and if that's what you want to do. But if you don't want to do, you can just learn and figure out where you can be more efficient. And I would love to have you if you want support with that. And if you don't, if it's not the good, what is this? What are all these things? I don't even know how to do these things. Diamonds?
Gem. You are dropping gems.
Oh,
You are a gem.
no.
So it just
Thank
had to be a full effect. That's why I came on screen, because I'm like, you know what? I don't know how else to let people know, because some people get it from visuals, some people get it auditory, some people get it from reading. You got it in the chat for the readers. You got it in the auditory as you're speaking. But I had to put a visual out there for what we're actually doing. It is gems. This
Yeah.
this is exponential in terms of what you can do with what you already have.
Yeah. And it's limitless. And I'm not saying that I am not a person that can see a vision if I don't see the steps. So for me to be like, it's unlimited opportunity, there's so many things you can do, I believe that. I 100% believe that. And I think it's our path to forge for now. I don't know how long we have. I don't think it's going to go away. I think it's just going to constantly evolve, but I think it's a pivotal time right now, and it's important for us. Because a lot of us have had to work really hard to barely get noticed. And you can create the amount of time that you can collapse in how much it would normally take you to do things. It doesn't have to be a struggle. It doesn't have to be hard. We just have to know how to ask the right questions or how to navigate. That's not working. How else can I do it? I'm not technical. How else can you explain it? I don't understand this. Can you explain it like I'm a 5-year-old? All of those things, you can modify those conversations however they fit for you. So does anybody have other questions about AI, about tools, about skills, about some of the gaps, anything that I can help you with while I'm here, while we're together, while you're here too? This is not vodka, it's water. Apparently I don't drink enough of it. So I'm drinking water. Nurse Yvonne, can you drop your website? Y'all need to hook up with Yvonne. Yvonne is phenomenal. I didn't even know that what she did was a thing.
I am transforming my website, but yes, I can drop it in the chat.
You're transforming, because I will send Yvonne voice notes. I'll be like, hey, and she's probably like, oh my God, 6 voice notes later, she's like, okay, enough. I'm
No,
sorry.
I don't think that. I want you to know what I'm like. Okay, I'm so glad she sent it to me in this format. Now I can go back and I can take this piece and do it. I can take this piece and do it. She gave me this point. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to send I'm going to send it out. I'm changing it tonight. So those of you who look at it tonight, it's going to be different tomorrow.
Just refresh it tomorrow.
Just refresh it. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
The name of my
That is,
business is Rhythm of Wellbeing.
mm.
And currently my website is nurseyvon.com. So I'll drop that in the,
And healing without harm. What's your tagline?
yes, that's it. Healing without harm.
Healing without harm. Hmm. Yay, Gigi. It's good to see you. Adina, you have any questions? Thank you for being on camera. You were the face that I saw the whole time. You were right next to my face. So Nurse Yvonne dropped her website. Everybody can drop your LinkedIn, your website, whatever you have. Um, huh. So let me know if there's no more questions. We're gonna drop off. You guys have an amazing, if we're not connected on LinkedIn, let's connect on LinkedIn. If you have any questions, Caroline, did you drop the link to the website? I think you did. If you have any questions, you can visit my website and we can connect on LinkedIn. I'll see you out in these LinkedIn streets or these streets if you're in Atlanta or somewhere else. Thank you all for showing up. I know it's your evening. I know you have a lot of different places you can be. Hey, Elizabeth, thank you. Thank you, Arditha, Ron, Amanda, Catrice. Thank you as always for my human doing to my human being. Thank you. Take care. Have a good night. Thank you, Yvonne. Bye.